Chairman Baisley. And thank you, Helen, for your bold prayer. I appreciate it a lot. And you'll see my candidacy, my program will try to be as wise as snakes and as respectful as doves. So, keeping with that good theme. How many of y'all have been around long enough to know who our U.S. senators were in 2004? Who were they? No, he's a little earlier than that, but Bill Armstrong was a great one, a good friend and a good guy. 2004, only 9 years ago. That's right, Wayne Allard and Ben Campbell. That's right. And what was their party affiliation? They were both Republicans. That's right. And Ben, of course, Campbell was a convert, right? He was a convert from Democrat to Republican. God bless him. He's a most phenomenal speaker. We need to get him on stage a lot more often. Who else was? Let's see. Who was our governor then? 2004. Bill Owens, Republican governor. Who had the majority in the state house? The Republicans. And in the state senate? Republicans. We just lost that last stronghold in November of the state house, the majority of the state house. So what happens now? What are we reading in the paper day after day? The Democrats, having no brakes on them, just keep chiseling away over and over and over at our rights. And some of those rights are constitutional rights. Our Creator's endowed rights to us. Our Second Amendment rights are really under the gun, to use the pun. What a shame. What a shame. It pains me. So what happened? So back in 2004, we had the control, but Democrats looked at the state and said, I think we can take this place. And how did they take it? They took it with some good organization and some good investment of dough, but they also kept everybody in line. In fact, how many of y'all read the Blueprint book? I just talked with Rob Whitworth, one of the authors of that book. I was on the phone with him a couple days ago, and he told me that he's recently learned that the Democrats actually had smartphones in the hands of folks, their minions throughout the state, and they had a 35-to-1 household assignment. Each person had just 35 households to ensure that they got out that Democratic Party vote. Man. So what are we doing over and over and over to match that? We keep investing money in things like a lot of phone calls. I don't know about how many phone calls y'all got, but I heard Vera talking about how many phone calls we got. Vera, ¿dónde está Vera? Ahí. Yo puedo hablar la lengua también. Viví en Puerto Rico cuando era joven. I lived in Puerto Rico as a teenager. That was my formative years, so I can do that too. Maybe not as good as Vera. Y hablo como un puertorriqueño también. I speak like a Puerto Rican. That's what Mexicans that I talk to tell me. You talk like a Puerto Rican. There is an accent there as well. Okay, so what I'm intending to do is, there are three things. One is build an infrastructure like those folks have never seen. We can't continue to do the same thing and expect a different result. What's that called? Insanity. We've got to do something that's going to just smoke them. Now, I come from the defense aerospace business. How many of y'all wore the uniform? Look at all that. Thank you, folks. God bless you all. So I've never put on the uniform, but I have worked as the person putting together the tools and the intelligence for people like you that put it all on the line. Thank you very much for all that you've done. I worked out at Schriever Air Force Base, back when it was called Falcon Air Force Base, and then again at Schriever as one of my tours. But anyways, I'm used to putting together the big systems, the technology, and the infrastructure to go win that battle, to win that war, and to have the intelligence on the ground and to get that done. The infrastructure that I intend to build will be a statewide infrastructure. It'll be distributed management. It won't be Denver Central as it has been over and over and over. Thank you. The plan that I'm hearing talked about now with field offices, okay, but those would be field offices of the Denver State Party headquarters. What I would much rather do is build up those funds, and I appreciate all that Chairman Call has done in building up funds, but I think we need about 5 times that much funding. And we need to take that funding and those tools to folks like you that are on the front lines, because everything that we do in building up that infrastructure needs to go to the folks in the field and say, what do you need? Do you need an office? Then okay, then we'll give you we'll fund an office that you can staff and you can run. Not that we will put an office in your neighborhood for you. What do you need? Because that's where the support's got to be. It's got to be to the county parties, it's got to be to the other district parties, and it's got to be to our candidates. We've got to keep them from sticking their feet in their mouth, and we've got to support them in a big way. And we've got to support our elected officials once they're in office. Second is a new decorum, a level of respect. You know, we did not win the presidency, certainly in Colorado, but across the entire U.S. There were 3 million Republicans who stayed on that did not feel included. The folks that talked me into running for this in the first place, this wasn't my original intent, but I'm feeling the responsibility of it, and so I'm on it, and I like the challenge a lot. I want this job, but group after group after group, the Liberty groups, Tea Party folks, the incoming new chair of the Colorado Hispanic Americans, Colorado Hispanic Republicans, excuse me, he's supporting me. The Black Republicans, they're all saying we have not felt part of that group. We feel left out. Well, we need their vote. We need everyone right of center to get under the Republican tent and vote, to outvote those other guys. What we did in Douglas County can be repeated throughout the state. We set a new record, 97.31% active registered Republican turnout, as Becky mentioned, because we started 3 years ago building up a database. We had over 3,000 volunteers, citizens, and we put them to work. We got great technology, great data, and then we assigned them, similar to what the Democrats were doing, but what we did was we only assigned them to their neighbors. So I took on 144 households myself, so I know how this worked. But we would go to our neighbors and say, hey, I'm Mark Baisley, and I live over here on Elm Street, so I'm close by. I see that you're a mail-in ballot voter, and I'm going to need you to make sure you get that in. And then you call them a few times, and it's not a 202 area code call, you know, dropping in from the sky. This is, hey, it's Mark. How are you? You know, hey, I see you haven't voted yet. And after a while, they get the idea that, wow, I'm going to run into this guy at Safeway and after the election, and he's going to know that I didn't vote. I better vote. It works. It works. It's accountability to neighbor. So I had district captains. I increased the number of district captains. So we had 37 district captains in Douglas County, and all those precinct leaders and so on. So we just kept track of all that information, and as people were not getting the job done, we would call them up and say, do you need more people? Do you need more tools? What do you need? We'd stay on top of that accountability, but providing them tools, pushing out the responsibility, giving them the authority to go get it done at the same time. Good management. And the results are certainly a high turnout. We saved the most targeted race in the congressional battle in Colorado, Mike Kaufman. So Mike Kaufman will tell you that, because it's simply fact that the turnout that we had in Douglas County kept him in that seat. You know what else we did in Douglas County is we turned over the school board, unaffiliated school board seats. We captured that. It's something we took on back in 2009, captured 4 seats, captured the other 3 2 years later, and we maintained that. We have merit pay at our school district now. We have vouchers was passed, believe it or not. It's not up in court, but the vouchers, you can actually, the voucher system, you can even spend that on a religious school if that's what you choose for your student. Believe it or not. Now, because of that, it's held up in court by the ACLU. They came and sued us. We're going to get a ruling this month from the appeals court. Then no doubt we'll go to the state Supreme Court. No doubt go to the federal Supreme Court. But we will fight that battle all the way to try to give us those freedoms. So for all the blessings that we have in Douglas County, you know what we don't have? We don't have a school teachers union as of July 1. So we're a side, we have the right argument, and we're not shy about it. We don't wonder about what our values are. We just take it to them, and we do it. And we need to do that throughout this state. We need to repeat that over and over. So I feel like I've been entrusted with a little, and I'm ready to be entrusted with some more. And I ask you for the vote for that. And one last thing. I call it the 2020 vision. The year 2020 is not that far away. It is imperative that we focus on winning the majority in the State House and the majority in the State Senate by the year 2020. Anybody in here know why that's so important? Reapportionment. Exactly. Reapportionment. Redistricting. It's left to the state legislatures how the new lines are drawn. Why Mike Kaufman is in a shaky district now, because they gave the numbers towards the Democratic Party, and he's going to get a challenge by Andrew Romanoff, who was, he's a very well-known former state legislator, and he's going to run hard. Mike's going to have to pour it all on. Douglas County's going to have to come out for him again in a big way. After the census every 10 years, the following year, a reapportionment, that gets drawn up again. I was one of the ones that sued my buddy Scott Gessler. That's how you challenge the reapportionment drawings, is you sue the Secretary of State. Or Scott and I are good friends. We worked together on a project, and he goes, remember when he spoke at our Lincoln Day dinner, and he says, so how this gets challenged is I get sued. He goes, so sue me. So we did. Anyway, in the friendly kind of way. Anyway, I was representing the 6th Congressional District up there in court, so I'm a little involved in that. I served on the Election Reform Commission, and back in 2002, I was the chief chief money raiser for the state party. I chaired the finance committee back then. I know about raising money. Been talking with our big donors, and they're not really happy right now. They don't feel like they have gotten a good return on their investment and ready to see something different. So that's it. Nice, big, serious infrastructure throughout the state that supports everyone in the field. That's actually, this is where the coalitions happen. This is where the votes are brought in. So equipping you guys, giving you the authority, and supplying you with all the resources that you need. That's one. The good decorum, respecting those folks that have any opinion on whatever issues from center to the right. Get them all to work within the party, and let's go outvote the other side. And then lastly, let's win in 2020. Let's win that State House and State Senate. Then I think we'll be good. I'm Mark Baisley. I would really appreciate your vote. Thank you so much.